Despite not being flesh and blood, a young woman went to unimaginable lengths for one very special little girl. This is the story of Kirsten Miles, a 22-year-old college student whose selfless act of love stunned everyone who knew her. Kirsten had been looking for a part-time job while studying, something simple to help pay tuition. She never imagined that answering a small ad for a nanny position would lead her into a journey that would forever change her life and save another. She was hired by George and Farah Roscoe, parents of 3 lively little ones. From day one, Kirsten felt like she'd stepped into controlled chaos. The kids were loud, playful, full of energy, but Kirsten adored them. Every day she returned, she found herself becoming more attached, especially to the youngest, baby Talia. Talia was only 16 months old. She had big, bright eyes, a giggle that melted hearts, and a sweetness that drew Kirsten in. She became Kirsten's little shadow, always wanting to be in her arms. Kirsten couldn't explain it, but there was a bond, stronger than she ever expected. But behind Talia's smile, something was very wrong. Just a few weeks before Kirsten joined the family, the Roscoes had taken Talia to her 16-month checkup. At first, it seemed routine, but the pediatrician noticed something unusual with her eyes, a yellowish tint that raised alarm. He referred her to a specialist. An ultrasound was done, then a biopsy. The waiting was excruciating. And then, the results arrived. Nothing could have prepared them. Talia was diagnosed with biliary atresia, a rare and devastating liver disease that blocks the bile ducts. Without treatment, her liver would fail. And the only cure was a transplant. Imagine hearing that about your baby. The Roscoes were shattered. Their world collapsed in an instant. And when Kirsten found out, her heart broke too. But her response stunned everyone. Without hesitation, Kirsten looked at them and said, "I'll do it. I'll donate part of my liver." George and Farah were shocked. She was only 22. She wasn't family. She didn't owe them anything. They told her she was too young to make such a life-altering decision. They explained the risks, the pain, the long recovery, the possibility of complications. But Kirsten didn't waver. She had the universal blood type. She knew she could be a match, and to her, there was no question. This little girl she loved like her own sister deserved a chance at life. So Kirsten began the process. She filed the paperwork. She went through rounds and rounds of hospital tests, blood work, imaging, psychological evaluations. Each step was grueling. But Kirsten never backed down. 6 months passed, and the results came in. Her liver was a perfect match. The Roscoes were overwhelmed, torn between gratitude and worry, but Kirsten remained calm, steady, and certain. She wasn't acting out of impulse. She knew exactly what she was doing. Finally, the surgery day arrived. Kirsten was prepped for her operation. Across the hospital, baby Talia was also prepared. Family members prayed, waited, and hoped. Hours passed like days. Then, the word came. Both surgeries were a success. Kirsten had donated a portion of her liver. It was transplanted into Talia's tiny body, and it worked. All that remained were 2 identical scars. One on Kirsten, one on Talia, fading marks that would forever connect them. But the true legacy of that surgery was life. Within weeks, baby Talia was transformed. The yellow in her eyes faded. Her strength returned. Soon, she was laughing again, toddling around the house, full of the energy every parent longs to see in their child. And Kirsten? She recovered too, though she carried with her more than just a scar. She carried the joy of knowing she had given something priceless. The Roscoe family could never repay her. They told her so again and again. But Kirsten always responded the same way. Seeing Talia healthy, that's all I could ever want. Her gift was beyond measure. She wasn't related by blood, but by love. In a world often clouded by selfishness, Kirsten's act shines like a beacon. To risk so much for someone else's child at only 22 years old, it is a depth of kindness most people can barely comprehend. Because true heroes aren't always in uniforms. Sometimes they're quiet, ordinary young women who simply refuse to look away when someone needs them. Thanks to Kirsten, Talia grew stronger every day. She was given not just a new liver, but a new future, a chance to grow, to laugh, to live. And Kirsten became more than a nanny. She became family, an angel the Roscoes never expected, but will cherish forever. So the next time you wonder if kindness still exists in this world, remember Kirsten. Because despite not being flesh and blood, she gave a piece of herself, literally, so that a little girl could live. And in doing so, she proved something extraordinary. When we choose to love selflessly, we don't just change someone else's life, we change our own. Kirsten's story isn't just about kindness, it's also about destiny, about the mysterious way lives can be woven together. Sometimes, the people we meet are not accidents, they are gifts. Perhaps even miracles sent by God. And Kirsten, through her courage, her sacrifice, her love, reminds us of this truth. She may not have been bound by blood, but she chose to give a piece of herself so that little Talia could live. When you see someone like Kirsten, you can't help but wonder, maybe she isn't just an ordinary young woman. Maybe she's one of those rare angels walking among us. So let us hold close the people we meet in this life, because we never know which of them might be the gift we've been praying for all along.